Hello, I'm back again. I wanted to upload another video actually, just talking about a retrospective of the lockdown, COVID-19, and just how that's impacted me, my thoughts on it, and sort of what the future looks like in terms of um, in- well for myself going forward and just generally as well. So it was a really unusual one for me because in my line of work, that I know that a lot of the stakeholders I engage with, there was a lot of calls that I weren't privy to. It was more aimed at senior managers really, and there was a lot of calls around COVID-19, but I didn't really fully understand the full extent of it really when I first sort of caught wind of it early 2020. As it happened in terms of when things started to pick up, I was actually off work on compassionate leave for a short while. There was something happened in mine and my wife's personal life, which I will actually present in another video. Actually, I will hopefully get something in to discuss that as well, because it's quite a interesting topic. But so we were actually already sort of we started that lockdown process earlier, and for ourselves, we both had some time off work, and then luckily we were able to work from home anyway. And for myself, I was on a phased return to work, just sort of working half days and getting back into the swing of things. And I was able to actually sort of work from home anyway. And then obviously there was sort of more things start coming out about not going to the office if you don't need to, and that sort of extended to my team based on the fact we could work remotely. So then our team started work from home, and as I said, that was probably about March, early March time, and I've not actually been in the office since. So it's been um, quite a fortunate position in some ways because I've had that job security. I've carried on as it were, and I've been able to work from home, so I've been allowed that flexibility. I haven't benefited in some ways where others have from the furlough scheme and being off, but the swings and roundabouts with that. I mean, because some companies weren't topping up the government funding, so people were still missing out on wages, and obviously I'm in a very lucky position in the sense that I've not been at risk of losing my job or anything like that, which is such a lucky thing to be able to actually, say, in today's climate. And in fact, I've been actively sort of looking for promotions as well at the time. So, during the pandemic, so I've been in a very unique situation where I'm still trying to progress myself and move myself forward, despite a lot of the economy and a lot of people being in a situation where they're really worried about their job security. I've been trying to sort of enhance sort of my position really. So it's obviously quite a unique situation. Um, so yeah, in terms of sort of going back to the office, I mean, the sort of early indications are certainly where I work, that they're looking around September time. But in all honesty, I don't think it'll be sort of late this year, early next year for myself, and probably on a very sporadic sort of basis as well. Um, so it's going to be more work from home, which I'm absolutely comfortable with. I don't know how other people find it. It can be challenging at times. Obviously, sort of sitting in sort of we've got a spare bedroom which I use as an office, and sitting in there, especially the way that my shifts are run. I actually do 4 days a week compressed into a 35-hour week. So Tuesday to Thursday I work sort of 10-hour days, and that can be quite difficult at times when you're sitting in an office. You're sort of when you're not interacting with people. But yeah, generally speaking, I enjoy working from home, and I like the flexibility and the fact that you don't have to commute, and it's saving a lot of money and things like that. So yes, it's been beneficial for me in a lot of ways. I've been very fortunate. Like I said, I've been able to not spend on travel, and barely use my car, which is great. And I don't think that's going to change until sort of late this year, early next year. And as I said, it'll be on a very limited basis that I'm going in anyway. I think a lot of businesses are looking more at remote working as we speak, and it's going to be more common practice, I think, where it can be applied appropriately to, a certain individual's position. So just in terms of my experience as well, so just a little bit of a retrospective really of how I found it. So I remember just pre-lockdown period, I actually had to do a professional qualification. Well, I had an exam booked in an exam centre, and that was a very surreal experience. Travelled into my local city centre, and it was like a ghost town. It was it was hardly anyone there, and I think that was I think we're talking a couple of weeks before they went officially into lockdown, and yeah, it was a very very surreal experience and quite scary actually. But I drove in and I sort of walked there, and I didn't sort of take public transport, didn't sort of interact with anyone, so I kept pretty safe. But yeah, it was a very sort of surreal experience, and I suppose following on from there, really, as it happened as well, that exam and course went really well, passed, and that was absolutely fine. And I was glad I was able to get that in, because probably I wouldn't have been able to sit it for a long time. So yeah, that was obviously very good that I could do that. But going on from there, really, it was the next sort of surreal thing was sort of just going food shopping, just quite a menial activity, so you don't really think much about. But the first time we went food shopping was a really eye opening. We walked into our local supermarket and went down the meat aisle, and literally nothing on the shelves at all. It was really, really surreal and strange, and it just felt post-apocalyptic. It was just so unusual. So we from there, really, we did go out a few more times, but then decided to start doing online shopping. But then that started getting a little bit outrageous as well, as you were trying to book slots in, and they were filled up for weeks, and and also you worried about taking up slots for vulnerable customers as well and consumers. But I suppose at the same time we were all quite vulnerable at this period, and we didn't we felt we didn't take the mick. We actually even sort of jointly did shopping with my sister-in-law and her partner as well, so it all got sent here just so that we could just share one slot between us, which was quite good. We did that for probably 4, 5, 6 weeks, and then I think in the end we just started going back out shopping again and just taking precautions. And it's got better over time. Procedures got better in supermarkets, but yeah, it was a really surreal and scary experience. I'm sure it was across the world as well, but certainly in the UK, nothing like I've ever seen before in my lifetime. So really, really unusual. I suppose as well, one of the other factors is during the pandemic. I mean, in terms of my health and fitness, really, I wanted to talk about as well. So prior to the pandemic, I put on quite a bit of weight, and I said I had some personal things that happened in my life as well, which sort of impacted that as well. But yeah, during the pandemic, it's difficult not being able to go to the gym as well. So yeah, that was quite surreal. But I do have a little bit of equipment at home, not much by any means. I had a couple of 10-kilo dumbbells, some resistance bands. So so I was sort of doing some home workouts with them, trying to do out 3-4 times a week if I could, and trying my best to do that. And also got quite into running as well. So I'm more into my weightlifting as opposed to my cardio. Don't really play much sport anymore. Used to play quite a bit of football and different things like that, but not so much anymore. So I'm quite an unfit person. And I remember my first run when I went out during lockdown, and it was really tiring. I mean, I probably only did probably less than a kilometre, and honestly I felt like I was going to collapse. I was going to pass out, and I just thought, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But just built myself up and got fitter and fitter, and I actually ran almost 5k a couple of weeks ago. I haven't actually been running for a while. I might try getting back into it again, but I feel quite comfortable doing sort of 1.5 to 2.5 kilometers. I feel that's sort of my comfortable range where it's not too taxing on me, and again, it's, you know, getting better and better at it. So yeah, started using a running app, sort of like to see how far I was going, how quick I was doing it, and things like that. So definitely making some good progress, and yeah, definitely would recommend you getting into that if you know, if anyone's interested. Things like Couch to 5Ks, that seems to be really good. I read up on that a little bit. I think I sort of looked at that when I was sort of like through my journey, and I already felt like I was sort of at the more advanced stages of that. So I thought I'm just going to carry on with my own regime, but maybe something I look at in the future anyway. But in terms of the gym, yeah, it's quite difficult working out from home. I was trying my best, but there's only so much you can do really with sort of you know, such little, you know, equipment and things like that. But I certainly gave it my best shot, and yeah, just last week actually, well, just even this week, you could say, I re-entered the gym. They reopened here in North Wales, and yeah, I've had a couple of sessions. The heat really hasn't helped this week though, so I've just not been in the mood whatsoever. And my car's in the garage at the minute, so even though it's not that far away and I could probably walk it or get a lift from my wife, I'm not really sort of feeling it at the moment. But I might. You have to actually book in as well, which is quite interesting. So I might even book in a session tomorrow just to make sure I go. But yeah, it's interesting actually being in the gym. It's not that busy at the moment in there. It's generally not a majorly busy gym. It's actually quite a really good value one as well. It's an energy fitness franchise that, you know, really well run, and yeah, really like it. Really good atmosphere in there, and yeah, so they're quite a bit unfortunate for them because they were quite new to the area, and then obviously they'd only been open about a year maybe, and then lockdown happened, and yeah, it was a bit of a shame, but I tried to support them where I could. I kept my direct debit running, and yeah, just to try and support local business. And yeah, now they're back open, and I'm trying to get back into it. So hopefully, yeah, I'm going to start booking in 3-4 times a week and get into the swing of it really. But yeah, I'll just have to see how that sort of pans out. But I do definitely want to get into my fitness again and get running, because I have kind of been on and off of it over probably the last few years. It's just the way that life takes you really. You know, once you get settled down and you have other things going on in your life, you know, you do. Yeah, I kind of started putting the fitness side of things in the back burner, but I do want to get fitter and fitter and look after myself now. I'm sort of entering into my 30s very soon. You know, really want to keep on top of my health and fitness. So yeah, really hoping that I can get back into the swing of that and get back into the swing of the running and just get fitter and fitter. And the ideal aim is to maybe comfortably be running 5-10K. I'm really got aspirations to run marathons or half marathons or anything like that. I don't want to do it competitively. I just want to, you know, be fit and healthy, and yeah, and in good shape really. Just for my own, you know, sort of, I don't know, my own self worth really, and I just want to, you know, be in the peak physical condition, mental condition that I can be. But yeah, I think a little bit of a retrospective on sort of the lockdown, how it's affected me. Obviously, my situation's been very different, and probably I've been on the more fortunate side of things. Really, obviously, other people have been a lot more unfortunate and have lost jobs, and you know, and even work, you know, lost homes and things like that. So I do deeply sympathise for those individuals, and you know, really feel sorry for them. You know, I said myself and my wife have been on, you know, very fortunate situation with our positions, and you know, we've come out of it probably better because we've been saving a bit more money from not commuting and things like that. So you know, yeah, swings and roundabouts really for some people, but certainly we've benefited a lot anyway. But yeah, I just sort of give a quick update on sort of a retrospective of, you know, sort of COVID lockdown, how it's been for me personally. I'll probably do a few more videos like this, just sort of, you know, just general chats about things, sort of giving my perspective on it. And as I said, I will try and get, you know, guests involved as well, as and when I can. And yeah, and just hopefully the channel grows, and you know, we pick up more traction and get, you know, the subscribers, so that'd be great. But yeah, that's everything from me for this video. Thanks for listening, and speak to you all soon.